All right. Think we're good. Welcome, everybody. Cornelius, I'm already jealous of the sunshine and background of your. That's a nice backdrop and not fake. So I'll just quickly share my screen so we can get going. We're still recording. Just getting there. They keep adding new features, and it looks like it's auto recording when second presenter is coming in. So we've been recording since the beginning, so all good. So and thanks, Varia, for getting the deck going. So got me 5 minutes so I can eat a bit. Uh, so cool. So yeah, so we're recording, so everybody else is gonna be able to watch it also later on YouTube. So welcome everybody, and welcome to our last GDG Cloud Montreal event of 2024. It's already that time of year. And we're gonna be unveiling insights with AI with BigQuery Canvas and LookML, and just gonna walk through a bit of our agenda for today and what we can expect. So we'll do a little intro and housekeeping, a little piece on asking questions, wherever they are, like if it's during the event or after, the way you can interact with us. We'll do a little top 10 Google Cloud trends of 2024 and what to expect in 2025, not necessarily about Google Cloud as a whole, but the community as a whole. And then we'll have our main speaker, Cornelius, who joined us live from Vancouver, if I'm not mistaken, for the our main talk, which is leveling up your data skills with AI magic. So we'll be talking BQ, but talking a bit about Looker and all that. Then we'll do a little wrap up, and then we'll post all of this online, and then we'll be good to go. So your host and speakers. So me and Florian will cover the Google part today. So I'm Stacy Verano. I'm one of the co-org. With me, there's also Florian. So and we'll have, like I mentioned, our main speaker, Cornelius from Google, who's going to be tackling our main project, our main topic. Sorry, later on. All right, just quick. If you're in the interface, like it's super simple. Just if you want to ask question, like at the bottom, you'll have chat, DMs, and Q&A. So if you just go in those sections, you're actually able to just ask questions. And I'll start the Q&A section. So on our side, if somebody asks something there, we can answer live. And if it's just like a direct chat or a DM, it's fine too. We'll make sure that we answer everybody as the event goes along. Right. So we'll jump with our main topic, which our first topic is not the main topic. Main topic being Cornelius, of course. Our main section, which a little bit of like the top 10 news and trends for Google Cloud in 2024. Florian, I'll let you start with our first section.
Okay, sounds good. So yes, regarding the top 10 Google Cloud trends of 2024, the first point is the record market share of Google Cloud. Google Cloud is 12% of the Google Cloud market. It is highest ever. So it shows that now Google Cloud is a serious contender against AWS and Azure. The second point is there is AI everywhere. Google Cloud went all in on AI with new model, infrastructure, and platform. The goal is to make AI easier for everyone. And yet Gemini is the big bet of Google nowadays. Next point is the AI partnerships. There is partnerships with other companies, with Google. The goal is to help businesses to use AI, offering more support and resources. Sorry, to get specialized in AI. The other point is the security focus. With the rise of cyber threats, Google Cloud invested a lot in security tools to keep customer data safe. Don't know if you had the chance to be part of the last DevFest, but we had a great presentation by Stacy and Jan Belrose from Google regarding new SCC features and AI inside SCC. So if you want to watch the video, this is on YouTube. We'll be able to share the link later if you need it. And the last point is sustainability push. Google Cloud is helping business, and the goal is to reduce environmental impact with new tools program to save energy efficiency. So,
all right. Yeah, I'll just swing to the next and finish our last the last stretch of our top 10 cloud trends. So of course, within 2024, Google Cloud taking more and more space, AI being everywhere, security being a big focus. There is specific industry solution that came in. We're talking about healthcare, finance, really tailored solution, even like really vertical teams within Google that actually address specific like healthcare issues. And in sorry, in that ecosystem. So that was a big push to really like zoom in and be able to help specific industries with solution within Google Cloud itself. The Our friend Antos just kept on rocking the multi-cloud world. Be able to, it's not just like multi-cloud ingress, or if you're playing with an on-prem or AWS or Azure, and be able to orchestrate everything. But it's been more and more of the central piece of be able to orchestrate everything from a single pane of glass, and be able to gate and make sure your workloads are secure. So that's always been a big push, and I'm seeing this continuing in 2025 as the landscape shift. Not everybody's going on the GKE route, but there's always like going serverless directly with Cloud Run. But for those who kind of need that kind of nice in the middle and have complex workload, that platform keeps rocking it solid. Also, there was a big help pushed in 2024 in regards to helping people, companies transform their either legacy workloads and modernize them so they can end up in GCP, regardless of if it's just hey, we'll move you to, let's say, GKE, and then you'll have a stateful set, or we actually just try to help you modernize everything through tooling to transform your workloads from a monolith to something that's more, let's say, cloud native. And of course, like data is everywhere. We've talked about AI. AI is as good as the data is. So it's and so there's a bunch of new tools that came in to ease business, like ingesting their data, transforming them, and be able to make your, let's say, your data warehouse as sane and clean as possible, so you can actually provide like great insight, not just through AI because you're doing an AI workload and then you want a RAG based on your data warehouse, but you're actually want to build and get proper insight with tools like Looker, which kind of this one I should actually put like this one last, because it would be a great segue to Cornelius talk. But that's the great power up play of 2024. And of course, expanding the global reach, more region came in too. If I'm not mistaken, there's a new one that just opened up last week or this week in South America. So I think in Mexico. So or another one. So yeah, so we keep having a great footprint across the globe, and with more regions coming in the coming years. So that's a great place to be for Google. Is a more region closer to the customer base, and lower latencies for those people. That's just great.
A quick retrospective about what happened in the GDG in 2024, what we did, what we do. So the first point is, it's me. I joined the organization of GDG Cloud. So I think it was around April or May. So I'm really happy to be here. So thank you everyone for the welcome. Thank you, Stacy. Uh,
we're happy to have you. I can't send like we like on chat like clapping hands, but they're super happy to have you on board, Florian. It's nice to have a co-pilot and be able to organize those in person and online events.
thank you.
So thank you.
So the next point is we had 7 events with GDG Cloud, so mix of online, in person. Some of them were hosted with Flutter Montreal, GDG Montreal, and other things. We had the Google Next 24 in Las Vegas during April, Google I/O in May in Mountain View. In person, we had Google I/O extended in June. It was a great event, and the last one was on November the 9th, the DevFest Montreal at Concordia University. In few words, if you don't know the DevFest, this is many conferences about Google technology, not only cloud. So this is the place to be if you want to meet people, if you want to share your ideas about Google technology. This is affordable. This is available for everyone. You don't need to be an expert to have your place at the DevFest. So if you want to join us next year, if you want to be part of the DevFest next year, you will be really welcome, and I suggest to be part of it.
Cool. And last little stretch, then we'll, what we're going to next year. Well, as usually, we plan for at least one event per quarter, either online or in real life. Davidson was kind enough to host us. Davidson Canada hosted us for our first in real life event for GDG Cloud. It's September. So we'll see. Maybe that's going to be our HQ for in person event for 2025. So that'd be good. Google Cloud Next 25 is back in Vegas. Same place, same like everything is the same. Same date, same location, and that's gonna be great. Of course, Google I/O is back. Usually, it's around the month of May, and then like a month later, we'll do the I/O extended. Will we do it in person? We don't know yet, but that's something that we can do with other chapters. Like we're GDG Cloud, but there's GDG Montreal, there's Flutter Montreal, Women Tech Makers. We all get together like for that fest, but more on the I/O extended. So giving you like a bit more, bringing IO locally, basically, that's what it is. And then, of course, like there's DevFest Montreal 25 around November. We're gonna try to again this year, next year, do it in Concordia. I think the event was great. The location was great. So nice venue, nice everything. So that would be definitely something we want to repeat next year. Kind of give you like a TLDR of what's coming for next year. And talking about Google Next, well, yeah. So right now, if you're keen on going, right now is the time because the tickets are cheaper. So if you want to push this to your employer or whatever you want to do it, it's a great time to go online and have a look before the price goes up. And it's going. It's not like in 2 weeks. You still have until like mid-February, but still. Maybe like plant that seed. Say, oh, I would love to go to Google Next 2025, and it's going to be like more expensive in mid-February. So maybe you'll get lucky, and then hopefully I'll see you there. So with all of that done, if I'm not mistaken, then um, we'll stop talking and give the mic back to the man of the hour, Sir Cornelius. Welcome to GDG Club Montreal, and I'll let you intro yourself, and also I'll stop sharing, and then you'll be able to take it over and walk us through your presentation and a little bit of data, a little bit of magic, a little bit of AI. So loving all of that. So again, big thank you for joining us. Um, it's been one of those. Oh yeah, we should do an event before the end of the year. And then okay, so I'll you were available. So super thankful for that. So I'll stop sharing. You'll be able to take over, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Cornelius. So just a quick introduction. I am an artificial intelligence and data analytics expert at Google. I support the entire Canada in terms of bringing Google Cloud data analytics products to the market. And I work with everything from enterprise companies to startups, and try to just help everywhere I can. Basically, it's basically my job. Today we're gonna be talking about just Data Canvas and LookML Assistant. So let's just take it from there. Okay, so let's just talk about what is Data Canvas. Starting with Data Canvas. Data Canvas is a new way of collaborating with data and analyzing data. Basically using in BigQuery, instead of doing this traditional SQL-based exploration of your data and the discovery of your data, if you have a massive data warehouse and you want to be able to find data pertaining to a specific thing really quickly, or if you want to be able to work with that data and transform it in a way that will be quick without having to write a lot of code yourself, Data Canvas makes that process a little bit easier. So basically, when we want to go from data to insights, it is a little bit challenging because typically there's these tool-centric things. We're always working with SQL, and that doesn't help us to get to the insight that much. Also, we have to go through a big search through all the data that we have. It's very hard to collaborate with SQL because I write a SQL statement. I can't actually, it's hard for me to actually give somebody insight into the steps that I've taken in order to, for example, go, okay, well, I was thinking about this and then I did this query. And then on top of that query, I did this query because I was thinking this. So talking people through that analysis in order to be make sure that you can check and other people can check your work, sometimes a little bit challenging with just massive SQL statements. So using something like Data Canvas improves that. And also, obviously, it requires quite a lot of skill in order to write really advanced SQL. So sometimes it's just a little bit of help is going to make a big difference. So basically, the customer needs and pain points that we see on our side is that we want to cut down analyst times. Analyst teams get excessive amount of requests from business teams, and it's unmanageable. And we really need some way of finding quick ways to go through this. We have big blockers in data science team because they can't prepare the data sets fast enough. All of these type of things are certain things that make this whole process very, very hard. So what is Data Canvas best for? So Data Canvas is ideally suited, obviously, for data analysts, data scientists, and data engineers. Data analysts, obviously, to make sense of data scientists to do things like feature engineering for models, for ML models, and so forth, when they need to maybe extract something out of a specific plain text or something to that extent, and you want to quickly write a query or something that will help you with that. And obviously, data engineers to make sure that the data gets to the right people at the right time. So this is basically what Data Canvas is intended for. And we have this basically, Data Canvas is this Gen AI centric experience for accelerating your data to insights with this iterative way of guided experience that you can go through. And it's embedded, you can use it directly inside of BigQuery with the semantic discovery with Dataplex catalog incorporated. It has built-in collaboration for data analysts, and it's integrated with Looker Studio for enhanced visualization and reporting. So I'm going to quickly switch over and quickly just give you guys a very quick demo of where you can find Data Canvas and how you can use it before I move over to the next thing. So let's stop sharing this screen and I'll share my console. So Data Canvas, if you're in BigQuery, so I'm here in BigQuery, for those of you who might have forgotten how to get to BigQuery, you can just search for BigQuery and find it via the console in such a way. And then if you look here on my side here, if I click on any of my projects, you'll see this welcome to BigQuery Studio. And there's a few things that have been added into BigQuery Studio recently in the last year. of which we have now notebooks directly in BigQuery Studio. So if you wanted to be able to create a quick collab with the data that you have in BigQuery, you can do that directly from here. And then we have data canvas. We also have data preparation, which I'll talk a little bit about just now, and then also workflows. But specifically in this, we're focusing on data canvas. So I'm just going to select now. I have a data set here. There's quite a few databases here, data sets with different tables inside. And maybe I am new to this database and I want to find some information about what's going on. So with data canvas, this is kind of the first step where I can go, okay, I want to open a data canvas. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to search for data. So I want to find data related to the query that I have. So I'm going to say, give me all tables related to coffee orders. So in this case, there is some data here which is related to orders and in the coffee set. And now here we go. So you can see here, it now went and found all of the tables that is related to my orders inside of here. So I'm going to add in these two tables for myself, and I have this order item, and I'm going to add this to the canvas. And so in here, we can see that it opens here. I can see a quick preview, obviously, of the data. Oh, wait, there's no data here. Let's close this one and just do another one. Delete this one. Let's do something with actual data inside. So,
excuse me, Cornelius, those are public data sets you're using? You're just imported them straight into BQ as start from source or something, or?
These are actually AI generated data sets, which I prepared. So these are the wrong ones, but let's go to another one. So I'll just search for a different thing. But yeah, so these were AI generated, so I didn't know where they were. But let's say find loyalty data. And here I've got some loyalty data. I'm going to add this to my canvas. And let's see a quick preview of what's going on. So here I've got a few information here. Now I can go from here, and you can see it's integrated directly with Dataplex, which I haven't enabled yet, but you can enable your integration with Dataplex to get insights on this data. But from here, what I can do is I can just take this and I can go, I'm just going to close this, and I can query this. So it takes this first table, and I'm going to query this data set. And I can just ask plain language questions about this data set. How many customers do I have in my loyalty database? So I can ask basic questions from this. This will generate SQL for me, which I can then run. And that will give me the next iteration. So it will just give me, okay, well, there's 23 people here. And now you can take it from here and decide. Now, this is going to be not the best way of visualizing this, but in this scenario, I can say, visualize this if you wanted to, and you can put it into a quick pie chart, a line chart, or whatever the case may be. In this case, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but let's just do it for a pie chart, which is going to be one big slice. But in general, that will now allow you to just show this information, and you can generate insights from this as well. So the generation of insights is because there's no data in here that I can now generate insights, but the generating of insights will take Gemini and basically over this data set, create some basic insights to what is going on in this underlying data set. Just some basic generated text on what is going on in the data set specifically. Cool. Any questions before I move on from data in Canvas? It's basically very simple. You can just go to your home on Studio and start directly creating a data canvas from here. Search for data, choose whatever table you want to do, and then start running your queries and your joins. You can also join this to other data sets, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Any questions about data canvas before I move on?
Nothing. We have nothing in the chat. But just to report of insights, exporting, let's say, your security command center findings to BigQuery, and then using Canvas on that data set and get insight on like the type of findings, like criticals or not. It's a great way to get insight without having to. It's a security command center findings data set, so it's, I won't say it's boring, but it's a massive amount of data. But insight is super useful for that use case for security. So and oh, there's a question. So this question is like, how about when we want to work with the large volumes of data?
Yeah.
In what context? Just asking if you can put more comment, Piyush, that would be nice. Just the chat. Oh, what type of insight? I think. Well, okay. So now we have all the questions are coming in. I'm just gonna go back to Piyush's question. It's like how to run the visualization and queries to fit like a big or a large volume of data. So I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I'll let you answer, Cornelius. The amount of data is, I want to say it's irrelevant to the visualization that you can do. Like it's just gonna take it and go.
Yeah. So it obviously it will just take, it's just making a basic graph on top of it. So if it's a massive amount of data, it might not be very useful. And you might want to focus on, in the same way that you would work in any visualization tool, where you might want to focus a little bit on smaller amounts of data and key insights rather than on every single thing. This is not an extensive visualization capability. It's there to do really quick analysis and understanding of data sets and the data journey. So I wouldn't say it's not extensive, but it will work on any size data set.
And can you gather data from many sources and import them there, or is just like you're getting insight from the data you have there? But if you want to do anything funkier, then you have to make sure that any external sources end up in the data set you're actually using and try to get insight from.
Correct. So if you want to generate, the data has to be available in BigQuery for it to be able to do it. Data modeling, so this is part of the whole journey, right? So you could use Data Canvas as part of the preparation of your data, for example, or to get to the data modeling, right? So you can ask it to generate SQL for you that can clean data, like remove duplicates and those types of things, and you can then create it like that. So yes. Also, this depends on what you mean by data modeling. Like theoretically, you can clean the data and do all of those type of things in here, and then create clean data sets which can be organized into a star schema or snowflake schema or whatever you need. Cool. Okay, just so that I can also just quickly give you guys an idea of some of the other things that we have as well, which is actually quite cool, is if you go now into data preparation, this is a new feature that's been added. So Data Canvas has this kind of collaborative thing. You can take these canvases and, like you said, yeah, you can share them with colleagues. So people can work and collaborate on these data sets and these insights together, which is very useful when you are trying to work together as a team. Something else that's really cool is this data preparation feature, which is kind of a new thing. And if I take, for example, that loyalty data set that I talked about earlier, you can obviously find it in the same way that you use Data Canvas, and then I can add this loyalty data set as a source. Now, the nice thing about this is it actually gives you some suggestions on how to clean this data, as an example. So as you can see here, these telephone numbers are all in inconsistent formats. And obviously there's these addresses as well on funny formats. But now what it does is it gives you a few examples of how we can change this data in order to make it better. So for the column address, regular expression with street name, street address. We can apply this, and this will take this and change this address as a to add certain things. So in this case, if the column number matches the phone number, regular expression without spaces, dashes, parentheses, apply the country code. So you can apply this, and then it's going to apply this over this data set. Or remove all of the items where there's no numbers, etc. So you can add these iterative steps to your data in order to clean it. So now we've removed some of the additional things here, and there might be just one more that I can make just to remove maybe all of the special characters, so that I have a consistent format. So you can apply these things. I'm not reading this through properly, but it makes like these generative AI recommendations for you. You could also add your own steps with I want to add a filter and so on and so forth to here as well. So data prep is very, very cool for that. So just helping you to create like some insights, or some cleaning and some of those type of things. And it sees what is wrong in your data set and then helps you clean it for yourself. Okay. So moving on from this to Looker and LookML. So I'm just going to share a different screen again.
We had a question regarding the piece, like the last piece you showed. Is that a replacement to data prep, or just like it's data prep baked inside?
Yeah, this is a different product. I would say it's not the same as data prep. It has limited features in comparison to data prep. In this scenario, it's more of a trifecta data prep. So it's not as extensive. This is more of a Gemini feature in order to kind of just examine your data and make some suggestions on how it can be cleaned or how you can extract additional insights or whatever. So it's not like trifecta. It doesn't allow for the big exports and the changes and those type of things that trifecta data prep does. But it has similar capabilities, but very, very limited in comparison. It's a smaller product, and it's also just gotten started.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next one that I wanted to talk about is LookML Assistant. So this is where all of these other things come in. So so this is basically just a new way of doing LookML code. LookML code has been a bit of a problem for analysts specifically to kind of adopt, because they're used to UI based tools. So things like BigQuery, some things like Power BI as UI based, and so sometimes it's a little bit difficult for people to adjust and learn the new code. However, now with Code Assist inside of LookML and LookML Assistant, we can now ask questions of things, and it will create certain things for us as well. We also have now Visualization Assistant as well. So before we had people complaining about there's not as many visualizations as we want, but now with our integration with Looker's integration with the high charts API, we have now not only the ability to make pretty much any of the charts in the high charts API or in high charts, but also we have the ability to actually use Code Assist and just ask it to generate the specific code visualization for us in a certain way with conditional formatting and whatever the case may be if we wanted to do that. So for this one, I don't have the correct environment open, but I have a video for the demo, which I'll start sharing now. So you guys can see how this works in action. Which is... So I'm just going to take them here. So in this scenario, so Code Assist opens on the right-hand side. And as you can see here, the first question is create a measure called items per order that divides quantity total measure by count. So that's going to take that query and generate the measure for you, which you can then directly insert into your code. And there you go. Now you have that measure created. We also have the ability to create more complex questions. So in this scenario, I'm asking it to create measure called average selling price by dividing the sales total by account, and don't set a type in the scenario. And there we go. And so it is also has the ability to take these changes, and also you can do the same thing inside of Explore or inside of a view. So you can do it on either one of these. So now it's created them, and it will obviously now it works with the SQL that was created automatically, which is pretty cool. So now from here, it's going on to creating something inside of a new view. And so you can also ask it to actually create things like derived tables for you, which is pretty neat, because sometimes it's a bit of a challenge to create these types of derived tables. So in here, just cleaning this out, and then basically just asking it to create a derived table of my top 10 customers by sales from our order details. So you just ask the question, and it will create that derived table for you with the SQL statement in order to execute it. There we go. And so you can make any changes you want, and then just save those changes. And now you have that derived table. So after we've done this, we've now created this derived table. We can also generate, obviously, inside of our model. We can now ask it to create an Explore for us. So in this case, we're just going to create a top 10 customers Explore with nothing else, and just run that, and that will create that top 10 Explore for us. And we can just insert that, and there you go. And so this is basically how simple it is now with Code Assist. Now I've got a new Explore, obviously, available inside my environment for top 10 customers. It has we went from creating a derived table to creating an Explore, everything inside of a matter of seconds using this Code Assist. I'm just going to leave it at that. So before I move on to some more exciting features or more things that I can show you guys in terms of how we can actually use things like Explore Assistant and embed those types of insights into our dashboards and stuff, is there any questions about Code Assist inside of LookML? Not yet.
Nothing so far. And yeah, so but basically you can like sum it up as this is really a way to kind of remove the frustration of some people who are used to more of a UI driven approach to getting their data. So it's a great addition to Looker. Let's call it that.
For sure. What I also want to show you guys is just some of the extensions which are now available via Looker. So Looker obviously has the ability to be extended. Oh, sorry. Do you need a specific license? You do need a Looker a Looker license, not just a. This is not Looker Studio, so this is Looker. But yes, you need Looker. The original Looker or Looker Core, Cloud Core specifically at the moment. So you can spin up your Looker Cloud Core. You have to request Looker Cloud Core from Google, and then we'll assign you quota, and then you can actually start running these types of things inside of Looker. I hope that answers your question, Eckhart. Just to share a little bit more of what is in the realm of the possible when it comes to Looker, and then because Looker is obviously is really big on like extensions where you can actually extend the product with Looker. So you can add additional extensions inside of it. One of the extensions that is available is the Explore Assistant. So this is taking an Explore. So in this case, you've got order items. I've got a few explores available here. I'll just stick to order items here. And I can do natural language querying directly over my data. Now, the nice thing about using Looker as an interface to connect to your data warehouse in the background is Looker has row-based and column-based access controls incorporated and can be used in order to visualize data externally, right? Not necessarily for people who are working within your data in Google Cloud environment, but if you have customers that need to see data or be able to ask questions externally of your data, you can manage those external people and allow them to actually access data inside of your data warehouse via Looker, and all the data governance and security and access controls, it will be applied by default. So I can ask basic questions here like, give me users, like I'll just ask it, how many users have bought, how many users, what are my top 10 products by quantity sold, as an example, right? So just a completely random question off the top of my head. That is going to use the Looker's API, and is going to actually generate the visualization for me directly and visualize it for me in Looker. And there I've got my top 10 things by thing. And if I look here, you can see it did a count of each one of my items here in terms of its sales. So this is one way that you can do that. I can say, iterate on top of this to say, make the chart into a bar chart, or like into a pie chart. And there you go. And then lastly, I can maybe say summarize this data. And that will now take the data that I have here and give me a summary of this information using Gemini in the background. So there we go. We see our top selling, the key points here is this is the top selling product, is this new Wayfair sunglasses, etc., etc. So it gives me a bunch of insights about the specific information. Now, if we wanted to now take something like this and you wanted to make it externally facing, so I'm going to just quickly give you guys Google sign in. Just want to sign in here. 1 second. So one additional thing that's really, really useful here is that obviously using Looker, we have access to this in the background of this specific demo here is 100% Looker. So Looker is like the data warehouse that generates all of this. All of the data that's coming from here comes either from the Looker API, which is basically going through all of that authentication, row-based and column-based access controls, all of those type of things. And it's also showing us here. So you can see that this data here is coming from the Looker API. So the data is coming out of Looker, but the visualization is actually being done by a different tool. So this is a great thing about Looker. It's very versatile in terms of how to access the data. So it's much more than just like a visualization tool. It also has all of this governance, all of this things built in, and you can build completely custom applications using that. We can see that this bottom one is an embedded one. So this is something that was generated inside of Looker and now embedded as a visualization in here. You can see that it doesn't look a lot different to the others, and you wouldn't actually be able to tell. What we also have integrated here is Looker as grounding for your RAG model. So if I wanted to ask general questions, I could even ask questions of the general internet, like, can you recommend 4 to 5 articles on the latest chip technologies? And here you see like, I go, oh, okay, so there are 5 articles on chip technologies. But I see like there's nothing here about NVIDIA. So maybe I want to ask a question of my own data about what I can see in terms of the GAAP earnings for NVIDIA for last year. And so, yeah, now that returns data from that is grounded in the Looker API for me from here. What we also have now, I saw there's a lot of things about AMD in there. So I can jump into overview of what is happening with my data. And I've got a bunch of stock data here in the background. And what I want to do is check into AMD. So in this case, I can just use AMD in here. This is a completely embedded dashboard. So this entire dashboard was created inside of Looker and then just directly embedded into my application here. So from here, I can now say AMD. It's going to go give me some information about AMD. I can also go into some advanced insights. This is very cool because this tile right here is actually an extension that has been embedded with Gemini. So it actually is going to give me a explanation from Gemini about what AMD is. It's going to look at this entire platform, the information on here, and give me some information about peaks and all of those types of things that I know I can form some insights about. And then we can also, obviously, if we wanted to monetize this, you can take this and upgrade, for example, to the premium access of this tool. And then you can go analyze the data yourself, where the Explorer Assistant here has been embedded as well. And so I can go and select a specific query that I want to using Looker's data model in the background. So here I've got a bunch of tables about stock analysis that have been pre-modeled inside of Looker, and which I can then go and say, okay, well, I want some information by company. So I'm going to pull out the company name, and I want to see the stock price, highest high and average high and max close, or whatever the case may be. I can run whatever I want, then create a visualization using this information directly from here by using the normal Explore experience. But then what I also have here is that Explorer Assistant that I showed you before with natural language query. I've embedded that as well in here. So I can also ask questions directly in this native natural language querying directly in an externally facing application that I created for my customers. So all of this has been embedded, and the customers can take it from here, edit what they need to edit, make it a little bit more readable. And then you could save this onto the customer and save it directly onto their own dashboards, so they can do the whole self-service thing. What we also have the ability to do is, because the API is open for Looker, you can actually monetize that API using Apogee as an example. So you can say people, okay, well, if you want to get access to your data programmatically, we can give you an API feed via Apogee, and you can monetize that as well as create self-service for the client so that they can go and create their own custom dashboards and make edits to those dashboards and whatever the case may be. So all of this functionality is kind of out of the box in Looker. So they can go edit this dashboard, add new things, add new extensions, visualizations, whatever they need to, in order to make a more custom feel and look for this. So I'm going to stop that. So that's basically Looker. I see there's a few questions. Is Looker free to use for data metrics, analyzation, and visualization? There are two versions of Looker. There's Looker Studio. Looker Studio is free, but Looker Studio does not. The functionality that I just showed you is Looker Platform. But also, by the way, Looker Studio has a number of new features inside of it, but you have to upgrade from normal Looker Studio to Looker Studio Pro, which also has conversational analytics built in. But the embedding functionality, all of the stuff that I just showed you, was on Looker OG. So that's the original Looker, which Google acquired and about 5-6 years ago. So I hope that answers your question. I can quickly show a demo of how conversational analytics look in normal Looker Studio. This is the free version, or if you upgrade your version of Looker Studio to the Pro version, it's like $11 or something. So here we've got an example of Looker Studio dashboard. So it looks a little bit different to the Looker dashboards that you saw earlier, but cool things that is now available in Looker Studio is we can ask Looker Studio to create a slide deck for us. So it will go and take all of the visualizations on our Looker Studio dashboard, and we can take that and it will create a presentation for us in Google Slides, taking each one of the visualizations and adding some key insights to this visualization as well. So I'll just wait for it for a second. What I also have the ability while I'm waiting for it. So this is just still generating that slide deck. But it also in Looker Studio, this is Looker Studio. This is the free version, but this is upgraded to Looker Studio Pro, which is like $11 license or something like that. And so you can go to Looker Studio Pro, and now we've got conversations as a new way of interfacing with data. So instead of creating a report, we can now rather create a conversation, and you can have multiple people be part of this conversation. I can choose anything from like a spreadsheet or anything like that. So I can take, for example, order items as an example here. And then I can start asking questions of this. So how many distinct order items are there, or whatever the case may be. This will actually allow you to have this conversation and then continue the conversation as we go. This is now finished with creating the slide deck. So if I open the slide deck, you'll see this was generated as we were talking. It created, it took each one of those visualizations and gave me some key insights over each one of them. So, which is very, very useful and very, very cool for feature now in Looker Studio. Cool. I'll stop. So, Looker Studio does not have the advanced embedding features that I showed from Looker, but all of the Looker Studio stuff comes completely out of the box in Looker Studio. But the embedding is really what makes the two applications very different. Looker Studio also doesn't have the ability to, out of the box, have multi data models that is multi-dimensional, so that can connect to multiple data sources at the same time. But it has a number of great features in it. For client-facing, how can I secure access to this visualization to help a client to see only their data? So Looker has two ways of you use what you call user attributes inside of Looker in order to make sure that people cannot access data that they're not supposed to be able to access. So the user will be associated maybe with a group. Maybe that group is associated with a customer, or the user attribute might be the customer name. And what will that mean is that any visualization that they see will always be filtered out for their specific information. So that's for data access. Then for visualizations, Looker has the ability to restrict what users can see based on folder structure. So there's a bunch of, in Looker, all your visualizations and looks and Looker and dashboards are stored in folders, and you can make those folders customer specific or region specific and add the rights only to a specific group of users to access a specific folder, as an example. So all of that is controlled via those methods. See, that was the last question. Is there any other questions? In that case, that's all I have for today. I can hand it back over to Stacey at this point to.
Well, thank you, Cornelius. That was good. And also, like, honestly, like the Looker Studio piece, the Looker Studio Pro, which also comes with support. So that's also a great benefit of paying $9 or $11 to get a license. That's great. Even like for me, like that's something be able to get some insight, but also be able to generate a deck out of your dashboards is could be quite useful. I can see that as being super useful. So good. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. Even for me, that was new. So because we don't spend much time in Looker Studio sometimes, or we have the non-pro version. So having that little window of like this is what like that amount of dollar can bring you. I think that's cool. Um, because the
Yeah,
time it saves you to create
Yes.
the deck with the same metrics probably just paid for the 11 bucks on its own anyway. So that's good. So yeah, no, thanks. I you're our last guest of 2024. So I really wanted to thank you for your time. Like I've mentioned earlier, like this was. I don't want to say it was put at the last minute, but after the fest, Florent and I said, okay, should we do one last for the year? Are we do we have time and everything? And after a conversation in Toronto when we met, you told me it's like, hey, if you need assistance, just ping me, and you've delivered. So really grateful and thank you for your presentation today.
not a problem. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Cornelius. So before leaving, wrapping thing up, just a couple of minute, couple of slide of information. It will be quick. Stacy told me off that my microphone previously was a
Yeah,
little bit low. Is it better now?
but that's perfect. Now it's good now.
Perfect. So, the first information is if you want to join us, if you want to discuss with us, we have a Discord channel dedicated to the cloud. It is hosted by DDG Montreal. So do not hesitate to join us, ask your questions. We are available with Stacy on Discord very often. The next important information is if you want to talk about something regarding Google Cloud, you are free to contact us. You will be really welcome to share things with us. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need to be a specialist. If you want to share something regarding Google Cloud, just ping us on LinkedIn, Discord, whatever. You are free to do it. And the last thing is the session is recorded. So if you really want to rewatch it, it will be available in 30 minutes, I think, on YouTube. So maybe I will split the beginning. Don't know why we started the recording really early. So there is, I think, maybe 10 minutes of nothing. I will remove it. I will remove that part.
Yeah,
So
and
that's
just
it.
for the YouTube
Yes.
part, just like it's basically if somebody because that was one of the question. Basically, if you go back to the event page after the event, if you go back to our chapter page, you'll actually see for the event the video is going to be Piyush was asking is going to be there basically embedded. Or if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, then you have the notification. So that's where it's going to be either straight to YouTube or if you go back to the event page, boom, it's going to show up at the bottom.
And this is our last slide. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for this year with those great events. Thank you, Cornelius, again for your availability, very quick, and for this super presentation. Don't know, Stacy, if you want to add more things.
The only thing I could press is just like for 2025, like if I wish for something for 2025, besides doing more in-person event, is also like for anybody out there that has a story of what they're doing in Google Cloud, please ping us and don't be shy to come in and present. There's nothing better than a user story to put everything to frame everything in context. Uh, we have a great Google ecosystem. We have access to a bunch of Googlers. It's always awesome, but also knowing like what somebody's doing in the field and the way they're doing it is always great for everybody. So that's my like if I have a wish for 2025, I want to see more. I want to hear from everybody from the community, and even if it's just like I just have 15 minutes to say something, we'll take that 15 minutes. It's not a problem. We just want to hear about your story. So just reach out, and hopefully we'll have someone more people either in real life or online during those lunch session to present about like their journey and story on Google Cloud. So and the rest of is a big thank you. I mean, yeah. So people have been coming to online events and in person. So I'm just no, just a big thank you to everybody. And we'll have the recording online soon. And we'll see you back. We already have something in play for early 2025. Kind of an extension maybe of the security and AI presentation that was done at DevFest. So that's something that may actually pop up quickly in January, and then after that, it's going to be Google Next. So this is going to be our next thing in mind. Go where it's warmer, then and be in Vegas for a few days. So.
Thank you,
Excellent.
everyone.
Yeah, so big thank you again for everybody. Thank you again, Cornelius, Florian. Awesome to have you on the chapter for 2024. Looking for more in 2025. So with all this, we'll send a big thank you again to everybody. Have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you all back next year.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.